Welcome to Grow and Give, a modern victory garden project from Colorado State University Extension. We're here to help you learn to grow food for yourself, your family, your neighbors, or your community. Share the harvest. Keep it local. Pests of the vegetable garden. The corn earworm. Nothing is more disappointing than opening up a promising ear of corn only to find these caterpillars have beaten you to it and are inside feeding on the corn itself. It's not a very appetizing sight, and it is really disappointing, especially if your entire corn crop has been infested by these caterpillars. The corn earworm favors corn, obviously, but it also likes to feed on the fruit of our tomato plants. So if you have caterpillars that are feeding on your tomato, and it's not the green tomato hornworm with the spectacular horn on the back end, instead it's something striped like you see here, chances are it's the corn earworm. They overwinter in the soil and are ready to go in the next season. So one of the ways that we can try and limit their numbers is to clean up all garden debris and then till the garden in fall to try and destroy their overwintering areas. But be aware that the following season, they can have several generations per year. So it will be a persistent pest on our gardens throughout the season. The adult female corn earworm is a really productive mother. She can lay between 500 and 3,000 eggs in her lifetime. She lays them on the silk of the developing ear of corn, where the larvae hatch and they start feeding on the silk, following it back into the ear of corn, where they start feeding on the kernels at the tip of the ear itself. Once they've gotten larger, they'll tunnel out of that ear of corn and drop to the ground to pupate. If you're looking for them, look for striped caterpillars around the base of these plants as they're trying to burrow in, especially if you can see some of the outward damage on the ear of corn, such as the exit hole from where they got out of that ear of corn. Controlling the corn earworm starts with choosing the right plants for your garden. Choose those cultivars of corn that develop early. Those early season corn can typically bring in a crop before the pest numbers really elevate in later summer. Alternately, you could grab a hold of a cultivar that is resistant to corn earworm. And this is due to the fact that the husk is held very tightly to the ear of corn, and it's really difficult for the insect to get inside. Before you get too despondent over hearing that the females can lay up to 3,000 eggs, you're not going to see 3,000 caterpillars out in your backyard corn patch. This is because although she can lay a lot of eggs on the corn silk itself, these caterpillars are cannibalistic. So they will eat their siblings. And usually what we end up with is only one, on average, one caterpillar per ear of corn. Another way to control the damage that is done by the insects that have entered the ear of corn is to apply a mineral oil or a Bacillus thuringiensis to the silk of the corn ear itself. But timing is everything. The silk has a purpose. It allows a pathway for the pollen to go down into the ear and pollinate so that it turns into one kernel on that particular ear of corn. So we need all the silk itself to be hydrated and open to having the pollen travel. We don't want to interrupt that with mineral oil or Bacillus thuringiensis, so wait until after the silk has browned in order to apply it. True, the insect will be inside and feeding a little bit, but this will help kill it off, and it will keep reducing the numbers of the insects that have a chance to pupate in the soil or overwinter until the next season. A combination of these approaches will help you keep the pressure from corn earworm low in your backyard garden. Learn more, grow more. contact your local CSU Extension office.